Microsoft and Bethesda are facing millions of dollars in backlash, and not in a good way. Gone away, all of that money for a terrible thing tweeted out on their social media account regarding the Charlie Kirk tragedy. And folks, we're here to tell you, it may be an economic tragedy for Microsoft. They better clean it up fast. We've got the details. We'll tell you why Bethesda better hit the gas, and getting a very swift apology ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, you know where to go to get your news ahead of the drive-bys. The dinosaur going extinct media can't keep up, not for a second. And that's why we second the notion that you have made a great motion in being here. Folks, as we dive in, click the like button, drop a comment down below. Let us know, have you played the Indiana Jones game that Bethesda made? Tell us, did you enjoy it? Did you not? And are you shocked that Microsoft has found themselves in a big pile of PR rot? We'll explain what's going on. Let's get started right now. All right, let's talk about a weird one. It's Bethesda, it's Microsoft, and here's what happened. From DigiGal, at digitalgal_x, a Bethesda, they're the people who make Skyrim and some other stuff, a Bethesda producer posted this Indiana Jones clip on the official account after gamers pushed back. After the outrage, they rushed to delete it, but the mask is off, done with Bethesda. And Microsoft tried to gaslight us with a small subset of employees. We knew that was BS. And you can see here, Bethesda posted this thing that says, good kitty. And over here, they got a bunch of posts from people who they allege are part of Microsoft who are doing all kinds of bad things. Now, if you're confusified, don't worry. We're going to break it down for you so you understand what happens. From Marvin Montanero on thatparkplace.com, Bethesda tweets and deletes video appearing to mock Charlie Kirk tragedy. Quote, you don't care much about these blanks, do you? And there's Indy from the game. Lauren, you loved this game. I don't recall, and I don't know if we can even play this. You know what? We'll just go for it. We'll see what happens. Maybe it hurts us. I don't know. Here's the clip that they posted.
Oh, nice place. You don't care much about these fascists, do you?
All right, so that's what they posted. I don't know where that's from in the game. Lauren, they took it down. No official apology yet. Can you help explain this for the crowd out there, what it is that this is and what it means and why it's offensive?
Sure. So I think this is actually from the DLC that just released, which is called The Order of the Giants. I haven't actually played that yet. It takes place mid-game, so it's actually not a continuation of the main game. It's sort of a side quest area that'll take you about 5 hours to complete, is my understanding. This portion of the game takes place in 1937 in the Vatican. It is occupied in the game by the Black Shirts. And so that's what's referred to in-game. The reason it's offensive is that somebody on their social media management team put up this specific clip after the events of last Wednesday. And so you can see the statement that they're making and why people are so upset about it. I did really like the game. And one of the things that surprised me a little bit about the game was that when they were doing behind-the-scenes stuff before the game released, there was a lot of interviews with the people that were working on it. There was a fear that they were going to be putting a lot of woke stuff in there. There is a little bit in the game. There is some stuff in there, but they kept it very, very light. And they didn't really address, they didn't go after the audience. And so I thought that they actually handled all of those things very well. And I've been a huge supporter of the game. In this particular case, I'm very curious to see what Bethesda does next. There's a part of me that thinks that, sort of like the hacking story we were just talking about, a lot of times the social media managers at these companies are interns or people that decide that they're going to take liberties with their social media accounts. They did pull the tweet down. I'm curious to see if they address it publicly and say, look, this was done by somebody without our authorization and they have since been released from the company. If they don't do that, I say, okay, I'm not going to support your products anymore. That's my personal opinion. If they do come out and say that, all right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt if you denounce what was put up and disavow what was said. So I'm curious to see what happens tomorrow.
Well, let me read this from Mark Kern. I'm not going to put it up on the screen. Now, Mark Kern, known as Grums, is one of the most important voices in the gaming industry, flat out. He's the guy, he was the project lead behind World of Warcraft, and that's been one of the biggest things ever in entertainment, flat out. But he's been taking the Bethesda crew to task. And this is, I'm not going to put the reason I'm not going to put it up on the screen is because we don't typically put non-famous individuals up on the channel with their names and such. We don't do that. And this is a non-famous person who works at Bethesda, allegedly, and what they allegedly said. But he's posting this, and it says, this is the quote from a Bethesda employee, allegedly. It says, spend your entire career fanning the flames of hate and calling for violence against minority groups. Then don't be surprised when it backfires. The world is an objectively better place without him, referring to Charlie Kirk. And so Grums has been posting these quotes and these social media things from Bethesda employees, and he's taking down a lot of people all across the gaming industry, and probably rightfully so. You know, I can't give the veracity of this one, but I think that companies like Microsoft have to be really worried right now that their employees and their contractors are going to severely damage them. Like, they have hired a bunch of absolute ideological nut jobs to be part of their ranks, and now there is a rank odor that is all over their studios. And I hope that this is an innocent mistake. If it is, I hope that Bethesda and their PR team and Microsoft comes out and says, we didn't intend this to be interpreted that way. This was scheduled to go out weeks ago as part of our marketing campaign. We're deeply sorry if it was taken in that direction. That's what they should do. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. I don't know how it could be legally actionable against them if they say that. All I see is a positive benefit to them weighing in, unless they're afraid that their employees will rage at them if they do so.
Yeah, I was not aware of this, that this was apparently posted in reaction to people complaining about the tweet from the developer that you were talking about. That was information that I didn't have. So if that is the case, then I think this paints a darker picture on this. It's not a good look.
Yeah, I mean, I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, like, well, maybe this was ill-scheduled. Sometimes that happens where, you have social media that's scheduled to go out at a certain point and, it just gets away from you days after the fact. But okay, I'm willing to give benefit of the doubt until evidence proves otherwise. In this case, really unfortunate to see Bethesda, and through their official account, going to this extent to really just inside a lot of people.
Well, here's what they need to do, okay? And I get that Microsoft is a woke company. I got that, okay? And I get that they subsidize a lot of this stuff that fails, and they destroy a lot of places by their strategies. I get it. But what needs to happen is, because this is the kind of thing that destroys an entire studio. And if they live in such a bubble that everybody in the studio thinks this is okay, whatever. But there's a way to make an example out of this, and Microsoft should, in my opinion, sue whoever did this and say, you destroyed millions of dollars, and sue them.
I don't want to undersell the point that Great Circle I suspect is going to be up for a lot of Game of the Year awards. Now, it did come out at the tail end of last year. I don't know if they actually include that in last year's awards or if they're going to move it forward into this year because it didn't have enough time in contention. This was a game that, in my opinion, actually is done well enough that it belongs up there with the movies for how it handled the lore and how it handled the character and all of that stuff. It was so successful that it actually got Lucasfilm excited and potentially talking about doing more with the franchise again. So this is not something that Bethesda is going to want to see jeopardized. That's kind of why I'm less inclined to think that this was something where it was a poor scheduling thing, where they had already planned to do this, and more likely that somebody decided they were going to go rogue with the social media account. But Bethesda has to say that. They have to say, we didn't authorize this. We had somebody that decided that they were going to make these statements and they're no longer with the company. If they do that, then I'll be willing to forgive you. If they don't do that, if they just stay silent, I think they're going to put everything in jeopardy.
Andy, I don't think they understood the level of outrage that has swept not just conservatives, but centrists, classical liberals, like all the normal people are very angry about the situation, and it's not going to subside. And this is a turning point, like pun intended, purposefully made. This is a turning point, and they're not going to be able to make their little snide remarks and people forget about it in 48 hours. That's not how it works anymore.
And Andy has talked about how much of an echo chamber that some of these people are in, right? And how sequestered they are from the overarching belief and value system of large swaths of the country, and the outpouring of support that we've seen for Charlie should have illuminated them to, like, hey, let's not do this. Unfortunately, not the case. Go ahead, whoever was going.
All I was going to say was the simple solution, which is simple for us, but almost impossible for them, is to have a grown-up gatekeeper that watches everything that's going to go out and says yes, no, no, yes, no. But where are they going to find one when the only people they know and the only people they circulate with and the only people they like are people who are going to say yes to all this stuff? That's the dilemma these companies are in.
Well, now I've got an entertainment company question for you, Lou, in just a second. I want to go to Andy and get his thoughts on it. Andy, what are you thinking in terms of how much they may have underestimated the reality they live in?
I think this is a culmination of things that have been going on for quite a long time now. With we all remember back to the Summer of Love. With there were people out there that were saying like that all lives mattered, which you would think in a normal world would be yes. That the answer to that is yes. And then we were all shocked to find out that no, that's not the correct answer. And people would stop and now we're thinking about this, and we're told it's one thing, it's indicative of something else. And then we all come back to this idea of like, no, you know what? That's true. All lives matter. It's like, that's the kind of idea. And you get,
it's like the basic tenet of Western society is that you have inalienable rights. Every single person does. You are divinely provided. You're exactly right, Andy. That was an attack on Western society.
Right. And Lou's point here, it's when you get to this area where you have to defend the most obvious things, where you have to defend, like it's sort of like it's as idiotic. We see these things going on in Canada where they're suggesting that you should leave your car keys right inside your door, so when somebody breaks into your house, they can just steal your car, and that will be enough. Like, and you can just trust them to their tender mercies. And of course, people that are breaking the law will have those moral boundaries.
Honor among thieves.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, this is enough. It's kind of like it's sort of like, does this person really want to kill me, or will breaking my leg be enough? And I have to make this decision in a split second. They don't know what normal is anymore. And Lou's exactly right with this. Where would you get somebody who can actually babysit and tell you? There used to be people that would muzzle celebrities, that would quiet them down and not let them speak because they knew they would get into trouble if they did. They just aren't. Anthony Hopkins, who I think is very intelligent for having said that, why would you listen to me? I'm just an actor. It takes a certain level of intelligence to have that self-awareness to realize, you know what, I do this for a living. I am not one of these people that are like so immersed in these ideas. We've gotten to a point where basic common sense, basic common decency, you have to stop and think, will all my friends be angry if I do the right thing?
Yeah.
And then are they really your friends if they're not happy with you doing the right thing? So I want to go to Lou for a very, I guess you've had to work for some companies inside entertainment to know the answer to this. And so Lou, you might be the perfect person to ask.
Maybe. Let's see.
When somebody makes a really bad oops-a-daisy, and in this case, this is a really bad whoopsie. If somebody does that and a company wants to scapegoat them, let's say that maybe the company itself, other people were tacitly okay with it until it turned into a rut-row online or publicly or whatever. How is that typically handled? Is the person fired? Is the person are there usually clauses put into contracts inside entertainment companies so that if your PR team, your publicist, or whoever it is puts out something that really damages you, Like, how does that work? Or let's say that you got
Well,
a celebrity or a minor actor that says something that just ruins everything for the TV show. What happens? What goes down?
Well, there used to be in all contracts, especially with actors, something they called the morality clause, where if you didn't do something and you brought defamation to the company or the show or whatever, you were out, you were gone, and maybe even penalized financially. But nowadays, God, I have no idea. It's a question of how much clout they have. I just happened to be watching earlier today an interview with what was his name now? Larry, the guy on Chips besides Punch.
Larry Wilcox.
Larry Wilcox, yes. And he said, do you know that Estrada got him fired from the show because he was getting too much attention and his ego couldn't stand it? And he said, for years, they came to me and told me that he went to the network and said, I won't come back if he's still here, for the reason that he'd gone on a publicity tour to Brazil and 40,000 people showed up. So, and he said, for years I hated the guy. And then I said, what's the point? It's over. It's gone. And now we have sort of a relationship. But these things happen more often than you know or think. It's just how good they are at covering them up. In fact, I was thinking when we were talking about all this, there is a book, and I'm trying to find the picture to send you. But it's a book that I've recommended on the Lou and You show.
Lou and You?
Yeah, and it's called Get Mahoney, and it's about a guy who was one of the biggest PR there. I stuck it in your Slack. I stuck it in your Slack. God, that sounds awful. But anyway, it's a great book, and it's about how things were. And this guy, his whole job was to interact with the newspapers and the cops and everything else to keep the bad stories from never getting out and the good stories getting out there. There was a whole system for this in the days of the studios. But now,
well, I was very interested.
West all over again.
I was very interested in that because, when you look at this action that they've taken, this one media post, how many millions of dollars did that just eliminate? How many, we don't know yet because we don't know how much this is going to grow and we don't know how sustained it's going to be. But I would say that a lot of these companies need to absolutely go into damage control. They need to bring on crisis teams.
If they're any good. And if they're not on the other side, you don't know what you're getting anymore. That's Mahoney in the background, by the way. He also worked for Frank, and that's why there's that picture on there.
I see.
Anyway, it's a great book. Go read it, everybody. If you want to know about how things were, but how things are now, man, like I say, where do you find a quote unquote honest man to be the gatekeeper when the only people are crooks?
It's why I included in the role there the video that was taken of the tweet as it played out, because it lists 125,000 impressions. A lot of people saw this, and I think you're right, bro. You've done irrevocable damage to the brand of Bethesda. Now, people in the know, they might have already known the proclivities of Bethesda.
No, not like this, and not to this specific tragedy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For the larger masses out there, for the normies, they're going, why would you ever tweet something out like this? So
this could hurt Skyrim if it keeps going.
There's another thing to keep in mind here, too, and that is that the developer of the game is actually Machine Games. The publisher is Bethesda. So I would imagine that Machine Games is probably not real happy about this either.
I bet so. The machine has failed them this time, and the machine is Microsoft.
I wonder if any of you know the origin of the word Bethesda. And I don't mean the pool in the Bible. I mean what it actually means in Old Hebrew and Aramaic.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
It means house of peace or house of grace. So there you go. Beit Tesdai, I think, is the original Aramaic.
In that case, they're the anti-Bethesda. And it is time to put a bow on it for this one, folks. Is a gift to everybody who wants to know exactly what's going on in the entertainment industry. And we are so joyful that you were there to receive it. We hope that you had a great time. An attitude of gratitude on this channel every single time you decide to spend time with us. As we get ready to say goodbye, we only ask a few simple things. Click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, so waste not yours. And folks, as you get ready to head out that door, do you have a place on social media that you love to share this sort of thing? Hey, you can make this YouTube video sing by putting it out there for your friends, your family, and for those weirdos who just won't leave you alone. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah.
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.